Okay. Ooh, man. Messed that up. Keep forgetting. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony Love, and we are about to get started today. You know what the title says, don't you? And just when you thought I was gone, I come back again, right? Right? So the title says, Why Black Men Leaving the Democratic Party or Democrat Party. But before we get started, we're going to be starting off with the American anthem. This is royal free or copyright free, I should say. So therefore, it says so in the title. So I do have permission to use this because it's copyright free. And I finally found the Star Spangled Banner copyright free. And I want to thank the people that put this together and things. So there it is. So, I wanted to thank those people and things. And I want to give a shout out to the singer of this beautiful piece here. All right. So therefore, let me see here. Let's go ahead and give her a shout out. Okay, for Ashley LaRue. So shout out to Ashley LaRue for singing this beautiful Star Spangled Banner, which is a beautiful thing. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen, very, very soon and things. But we're going to start off with it, the American anthem. You know how I do. So, let's go ahead and get started with that. And we'll go from there. Copyright free. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and back it up here. There we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing there. It's a beautiful piece. All right, for a moment. Hold on for a minute. Oh, yeah, look at that. Yo, and my boy, she is live, boy. Look at this, man. Boy, it don't get no better than this, doesn't it? Man, I tell y'all, it doesn't get any better. Boy, but we're not going to talk about her. We're going to be talking about something else much more important and stuff. So I thank you guys for showing up here. You know, we're going to get started. Yeah, we're not talking about Ilhan. Everybody talking about her, you know. She done already played her card and things, you know. Boy, I tell you. Thank you for the likes, too. I appreciate it, though, you know. I really do. Boy, I tell you. But yeah, man, we just got the beautiful American flag. Doesn't it feel good to be an American, you know? Boy, it's beautiful, man. Beautiful thing. The greatest country on earth, man. God bless America, you know? And God bless Donald Trump, too. Right. So therefore, we're going to get into it first. Boy, we're going to be talking about why black men and women, too, right? We're going to get into that in a minute. Hold on for a minute. Why black men and women, let me just put that up as a placeholder. We're going to play a little bit of that, too. Why black men, right, mostly, and some black women, too, are leaving the Democrat Party. That's what we're going to be talking about, boy, I tell you. Woo, boy, I tell you. Hopefully this will be another banger. Y'all know how I do, you know. I appreciate the support the last time, too, man. You guys came through, showed up, showed out. Boy, I got so much support, man. I said, you know, this is what keeps me coming back. We're talking about real stuff, right? Real stuff that affects America. And now the fact is that America is slowly turning around. It's actually been picking up momentum and things like that since we got rid of woke, you know. We got rid of that DEI stuff, all that nasty stuff. We got rid of that now. And now that America is healing, ladies and gentlemen, which is a beautiful thing. And I'm really, really happy that the direction we have changed course, boy, I tell you, you know. But other than that, though, ladies and gentlemen, so good family. It's your boy, Tony Love, with some random guy speaks behind the mic. Welcome back to another episode of Some Random Guy, the podcast where we keep it 100. No filters, no corporate sponsors telling me what to say, just real talk from Detroit, Detroit, Michigan. If you are here, pull up a seat, right? Grab your coffee or tea, whatever you get, right? These times, this very, very wild. You know, today we're just going to be talking about something that has been sitting heavy on my chest, right? Why the black men are leaving the Democrat Party, right? Yeah, you heard it right. After years and decades, really, for voting blue, the line shows up for every election, knocking on doors, arguing with uncles and aunties and so forth at the cookouts, right? I know that very well. I'm not, though. I'm not switching. I've been red, but, you know, so here it is, though, you know. We're going to be talking about independent, right? Just to play both sides. Well, here it is. There's many people that are walking away because the math ain't mathing anymore, right? The loyalty ain't loyal, right? Especially in the black community. Let's break it down. You know, we're going to break it down step by step. So you know this ain't some impulsive TikTok rant, right? I'm not even on TikTok. I am, but I don't stream over there, you know, because of the super ultra liberal type of stuff, you know. This is throughout the prayers on cursing out in the car, you know, long frustration, been there and done it. They've been telling us since I was old enough to vote, right? Since Obama, right? Before that, right? Even the Democrat Party is a party that has our backs. I've heard that for many years. Black folks, working class, poor folk, right? City folk, they roll up every 4 years. It's so true, right? I said this many times with the same old playlist. We got crime, you know, criminal justice reform, right? Better schools, right? Jobs, healthcare, sounds familiar? Protecting voter rights, sound familiar, right? Oh, man, you can't make this up. And every time we show up in record numbers, then crickets, right? Because after they got the vote, then they say, bye-bye, you know what I'm saying? And they leave us hanging, right? This is the common monolith, right, of the Democrat Party, right? This is true and true. Our neighborhoods don't get any better, right? Same old crime, disenfranchised neighborhoods. You guys heard me say that many of times, as well as, you know, underserved, you know. And then they try to argue these facts. You can't argue what's obvious, what has been going on for a very long time. What is it, between 60, 70 years? and we still being overlooked, right? And so forth. We're not even represented for the votes that we give, Oh my goodness. Look at the crime, right? As I said before, in our cities. Look at the schools failing our kids. Look at the gas prices, rent, groceries, everything, right? Costing an arm and a leg while wages stay flat, right? They talk big game about equality. I've heard this. Systemic, right? Racism, reparations, right? But when it comes actually to deliver, it's always we need more time, right? Or the Republicans have blocked it. I have heard this, ladies and gentlemen, for a very long time, right? Because how can the Republicans block it when the Democrats controlled the House and Senate for years, right? I mean, you can put up the times when the Republicans did it, right? But we know this, right? We haven't gotten any type of, when we say we vote for something, but we haven't gotten nothing back in return. Other than thank you for your vote, singing and dancing, showing up at the church, eating soul food, putting the kente cloth on, all this ridiculous stuff, right? Right? While in the meantime, our community stays stuck in the same cycle over and over and over, right? That's the thing about it. As I mentioned before, they even leapfrog over the black community. I'm talking about the Democrats, the controlling Democrats, right? Because we know when the Biden era, when Biden was the president, we already know what ended up happening, right? What did they do? They have set up and set aside programs to illegal aliens, right? They benefited way more than the so-called black community. It's a crying shame. And some of these people are still voting Democrat. They don't even mind being leapfrog, let alone they should be outraged for being underserved in the first place, right? These are the things. And then secondly, the gaslighting, right? This is insane, right? Every black voter, right, start asking real questions, right? Right? Where's my cut? Why you keep prioritizing everybody else issues over ours? These are the things, right? They hit us with the guilt trip, right? And if you don't vote blue, you're helping what? Trump. Doesn't that sound very familiar, right? This is the type of nonsense that is crazy, ladies and gentlemen, right? Oh, here's the other one. Oh, yeah, you're abandoning the most valuable, right? Or don't care about democracy, right? They always ask these questions back, right? I mean, boy, I tell you, like we're the problem for wanting actual results instead of divides, right? Here it is. You ain't black unless you vote for me. Oh, man, you can't make this stuff up. Oh, my gosh, man. When you asking questions, you do care. Because, I mean, what fool continues to vote for a particular party when you ain't got nothing in return, right? And that's the thing about it. Because I love it because, like I said, they flip it either on Trump or, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. They always do. Every single time. It's a very bad deflection type of tactic. Because when I'm asking the real questions, they bring up other questions. They don't stick to the question itself. You got people that are Trump derangement syndrome and all that. That doesn't help us. Because what you're saying is that I'd rather for a Democrat or anybody else that don't give a damn about black people just so that Trump is not in the White House. You can't, that is stupid. Idiots. What are you getting from? You would still rather continue to vote blue when blue don't even rock with us. We saw at the at the State of the Union, you had people that was standing, John Fetterman stand, I think it might have been a few others, very small number. Everybody else sat down in their seat. Trump even said, if you don't stand for stand for democracy in so many words, or freedom, for America, you don't stand for America, right? You stand for these illegals. Something like that, right? Because that's exactly what it is. They sat because they stood with the illegals. The people on the left always cared about other people in other countries. Look at them right now. Since this Iran thing, they're more concerned about that over here than worrying about their own damn party. Because their own damn party is in serious trouble, whether you know it or not. You guys on the left, you can't deflect from this. You just can't. The evidence is too compelling against you. You can get mad if you want, but once again, you are losing your base. And not just with black, but Latino votes as well. Shout out to my Latinos, as well, I thank you for the like, hola, or, you know what I'm saying? Que pasa, amigo. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what it is. They're losing their base over to the right, even the moderates. They say, I still remain moderate, but I'm going to vote right because voting left, you know what I'm saying? Nobody says that you got to be MAGA. But they're still going to vote for MAGA because like they did with Trump. Thank you for the like. Like they did with Kamala Harris. It was 77 million that voted for Trump. He said, let's make it too big to rig. And I'm sure that's going to be the sentiment again when the midterms come around. I mean, what Ilhan Omar did, once again, it's been a heaven sent. You can ask for somebody to be more disruptive than her, right? I mean, she played that role and fell right into the trap. Trump knew she was going to do this. This is already planned. He's a master troller. I keep telling people that. Trump control, man. He's even better than me. This guy control, man. I thought I was good. He control, boy, I tell you. So that's what ended up happening, man. Now they're on the brink of being deported. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy, though. So let's go ahead and go further on, though, right? Well, I got it fresh in my head, right? Third, right? The culture stuff. I ain't even going to front, right? Some of the social stuff that they push feels disconnected from the hood, right? Or from the church folk, right? And regular working black men and women. Just trying to raise a family. They act as if, ladies and gentlemen, that to question certain politics or certain extremes, you are automatically a bigot or on the wrong side of history. When have we heard that before? All the time? Man, please, I grew up in the real world, especially in the hood. I know what families look like, especially in the black community. I know what the communities look like, right? Especially in the black community. And a lot of what gets forced down our throats ain't it. It's not. And don't get me started with immigration. We got black folks out here struggling for jobs, housing, and resources, and the party wants open borders. Act as if, or act like the progressive, right? I mean, act like this is a progressive thing. Their policies are very, very extreme. It doesn't relate to the common man and women from the working class pouring up. On the meantime, people are getting pushed further back in line, right? That ain't solidarity. That's selling out, right? The base, right, that carries y'all for generations, which is the left. This is what this is, right? Because, again, we're still in a situation right now. So where do I go from here? I'm not telling y'all to vote red because I'm pretty sure and clear it's pretty darn obvious at this point, right? I'm not capping on any politician per se. I'm just saying it, right? Think of yourself, right? Demand better. Don't let fear chain you to a party that treats you like a guaranteed vote instead of a partner. Now, we all know, especially in the black so-called community, they have been treating us this way for years. Some are from the Democrats, right? It ain't no quick pro quo this for that. It's basically they know that they got the black vote in their back pocket. So why give them anything other than trinkets and trash and certain type of subsidy programs and things like that the average black person, working class, don't even qualify, man. That's the truth, right? If enough of us walked away or at least stopped being taken for granted, maybe they'll wake up or maybe not. Because the new movement builds. Either way, I'm done being this so-called loyalist piece of somebody else's political relationship, right? This is exactly what it is, though. You guys on the left, because I always voted on the right as a Republican, right? Not as a Democrat. I'm a registered Republican. I saw the BS, right? I saw this BS even before Trump, right? Seen the BS. You can't be afraid to demand better from your party. But right now the party is going in flames. Thanks to Ilhan, she really made that happen. And Taliba Rashid, those two are a disgrace to the whole party. And there's many more that are a disgrace. Those are just the two at the icing on the cake. And I appreciate her and her antics for doing it. So right now, let's go ahead and get into the video, ladies and gentlemen. Enough of that. We're going to go ahead and get into the video and things. And it's going to be a throwback. This is a period piece. This was before Malcolm X's assassination, right? But he does bring up a very good point, you know, because I believe he was assassinated in '66. But let's go ahead and talk about it here. So we're going to go ahead and play it.
Democrat. Whoever runs the Democrats is also the father of the Dixiecrats. And the father of all of them is sitting in the White House. I say and I say it again. You got a president who's nothing but a Southern segregationist.
He's talking about Nixon.
And a lot of people try to say Trump is racist.
All right, he's talking about Nixon and things. That's fair content. I just wanted to share that with you a little bit. And
The wool is in over.
all right, so yeah, the brother make a good point. But you heard what Malcolm X said, though. You know, he said that blacks shouldn't even. He was even talking about trumpet players and entertainers, because we know that the Democrats, they love to throw entertainment in black folks' face to say that, oh, so-and-so said vote Democrat, maybe us. None of them are qualified to even talk about politics. They are entertainers, right? And many of them are actors. You know, the best person that can fool people are actors, right? Political people are actors as well, too, right? Well, especially in the Senate, all of it. They're great actors for some of them. Not all of them are very great actors. And a lot of them have low IQ. But the thing is that they carry on policies that we know they're puppet masters that's controlling them, right? The puppet masters, right? The ones that some of us never see. Some of the ones that's obvious, like Mr. Krusty Soros and so forth, right? But other than that, you know, most people don't get a chance to see what goes on behind the curtain. Only thing we see is somebody got their hand up there, you know what, telling them what to say and do, like a sock puppet. And that's exactly what it is. If I can be more, show you more of an example, boy, that's a stinky thing, stinky situation. But it's true. That's what it is. These people are not working on their own accord, you know. They are being controlled like the puppets they are, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, though. We got to be very mindful and careful of people like that. This is the reason why a lot of, you know, in the so-called black community, they left the black community. The black Democrat Party is what I'm trying to say, right? Because we're not getting anything other but a bunch of empty promises. Promises, promises. I like that song, right? But that's what it is, you know? This is exactly what it is. You make me. Promises, promises. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Promises you don't keep. That's exactly what it is. They don't keep nothing. They don't have to. Once upon a time, you know, in the so-called black community, they can rely on blacks hook, line, and sinker, right? 92% vote Democrat automatically a long time ago. It was all good. They had it made in the shade. And then they throw us these old sorry black leaders, right, that never been about the people. They've been about themselves. This is the thing about it. You even got a lot of these so-called black leaders, right? They don't want change in the inner cities, because change would mean they would be out of a job. Think about it. It's like it's a perfect situation, a perfect storm right now. The more violence, the more destruction, the more gain. They say the same old sorry stuff over and over and over again. Promises made, but promises never kept. It's the fact, Promises never kept. So don't get mad at your boy because I'm happen to be telling the truth. I always make very, very good points and examples, though. And then to deflect from all of that, that really means that I have won, especially with the insults, because we already know you can't debate that way. You got to be able to debate with facts, right? And this was coming from Malcolm X, this is a militant black man when he was involved with the Nation of Islam, you know what I'm saying? So for him to say the things that he was saying back then, because I do believe it was Lyndon B. Johnson who he was referring to, because we already know that JFK he was assassinated, obviously. Everybody know that Lyndon B. Johnson was a known racist. He was a liberal racist and a hater, right? They didn't want blacks in the Southern Dixie, the Southern Democrat Party in '64, man. They didn't want blacks even be involved in that. They had to make marches and stuff and so forth to better convince them to let blacks in, But they didn't want blacks in the Democratic Party. And things. Now, I know this was before my time, but I pulled up some information on this, So all of the evidence says so, right? They have a history of racist politics, policies. As I mentioned many times, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, these things happen under their watch and policies. This is basically what it is. This is the reason as to why, black men and black women too. Shout out to Pop and Culture. Those ladies are doing good. Those sisters over there. I believe they're out of Baltimore, Maryland, Go ahead to those sisters over there, boy. Yeah. I also like to give a shout out to the sisters in Chicago, flipping Chicago red. Go ahead, Danny C. and Miss Jessica. Boy, I tell you. These sisters is on the front line over there in Chicago, man. They giving Brandon Johnson the flux over there, J.B. Pritzker the flux over there, as they should, because Chicago is red. Don't let nobody else tell you otherwise. And those sisters that have been leading the charge, she is so busy now. I've been trying to get her. I wanted to interview her and get her on the show and things, though. So some of you guys probably know who she is. Others do not. But, you could check out her channel. And her movement is called Flipping Chicago Red. Ain't that something? Boy, I tell you, they're doing the same thing out in Philadelphia, I do believe, though. Shout out to some of you guys may know him as well, Jimmy Twins and so forth. Jimmy out there, boy, Jimmy doing a good job out there in the field. Shout out to Jimmy too, right? Yeah, Jimmy Trace. Oh yeah, boy, been doing a great thing out there though. So that brother is about it, man. That guy is MAGA. You thought I was MAGA? He is MAGA for real. He wears the hat, man. He's MAGA out there on the front line for real, for real. He's about that life, and shout out to him, man, But, yeah, though, you got all these groups, right, that have been formed because of their dissatisfaction of the Democratic Party, right? So we all know, you know what I'm saying? They say with the same old rhetoric that they always say, as I said before, man. Dang, it's like, they know what to say. Get the Negro leaders, as I said. We go get the Negro leaders, That was the speech back in the 60s, Negro leaders. We don't even use that term no more. Boy, I tell you, man, But yeah, man, so that's basically what it is there, though, Let me see here. What else I was going to talk about? And I appreciate you guys showing up and things, and yeah, because we go pretty hard, man. You either got to go hard or go home, right? And that's exactly what it is, though. Let me see. Where's my other thing? I just wanted to, oh, yeah. Boy, they say here. Here it is right here. According to the ground, this is coming from Ground News, and these are centered sources in regards to the journalism, right? And I list a lot of them over here, but for time, I'm not going to go over that. But it says here in the headlines, Bill Clinton says Trump never said anything to suggest he was involved with Epstein, right? Comer, right? All right, let's get to it with that particular news, man. There's a lot of news going on. I'll tell you that, you know. On Friday, the former president, Bill Clinton, appeared, or actually before the House Oversight Committee, right, denying knowledge of Epstein's crimes and saying he could not recall Trump ever implicating himself, Comer reported. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee closed door deposition, right, of the Clintons after subpoenaing, boy, that's a tongue twister, tens of thousands of Epstein-related records, right, from the DOJ and the Epstein, the Epstein estate dating roughly between 1990 to 2010. Comer said that Clinton answered every question or attempt to answer every question and relayed that that Clinton poured cold water on Trump's involvement, speculating and adding that I know there's a lot of obsessed about President Trump from the media, which there is, because they're really trying to thread that needle, trying to say that he was on that island. The Democrat leadership want Trump to be this criminal, this pedo, right? Being with these underage girls, how they salivate over this, man. They want it to be so true that they can just taste it, right? I ain't never had another man's name in my mouth as the Democrats do. Every day they wake up, they talk about how Trump and pedos, a pedo protector, all this other stuff, right? They bring up this stuff because they really don't care about the others. They don't care about Bill Clinton, Hillary, and all the rest of them. They don't care about nobody but Trump, right? Now, if that don't sound like Trump derangement syndrome, what is? Reporters and lawmakers urge release of the full transcript so the record can be viewed, with Democrats disputing Comer's characterization and saying the full dispositions could be released within days. The House Oversight Committee said Friday that the dispositions with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton were historical, as Democrats may seek testimony from President Trump using the precedents. Right, there we go, precedents. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is coming from Ground News. Now, I'm not sponsored by Ground News, but I must say Ground News is a source that I like because it lets me know who wrote the article, if it's left-leaning, right-leaning, or down the middle. And I usually more on the right as well as the center. I don't really like I don't like to read anything from them, you know, because we've already seen when they get the story, they automatically flip it and change it. Anything to make Trump look bad. This is how bad it is, right? So therefore, you just heard that. This is coming from Bill Clinton. He was, subpoenaed to go in, to give a statement regards to what he know, right? Make a long story short. He said, once again, Trump never said anything to suggest he was involved with Epstein, right? But that's not good for the Dems on the left. They want the whole thing. I think they said they're going to release the rest of the files and stuff. They want the full dispositions, right? This is what they're looking for. because we already know the Dems are going to go over it and go over it. The redactions wasn't good enough. Protecting these little innocent babies from and all this stuff, it was not good enough. They say that Trump is on there. They just hiding their information. They got it all blacked out. See, with Trump deranged Trump, man, you got to get that taken care of, man, because it just looks more foolish. It's no dang where in the world that they're going to cover mass information if Trump, I'm saying, if he was involved, but he's not. Here it is that he was exonerated. He was basically in fact, he was a undercover informant working for the FBI. That's not good enough for the Democrats. Trump was the one that brought Epstein down. Trump knew what he was doing. That's why Epstein hated Trump so much. He only hated Trump because Trump got him busted, right? Nobody knew about Little St. James Island until Trump exposed a lot of stuff. None of us knew about Little St. James. Little St. James. Man. Little St. James, right? Nobody knew about this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? But a rich people playground where the billionaires go, high dignitaries, high profile people. When you gonna come on my island? I can see them now, Epstein. When you gonna come? It's like coming to the Diddy party. When you gonna come on my party? When you gonna party with me? Why you ain't party with me, man? 50. Why you don't party with me, man? Same thing, just a higher scale. This is what Epstein was doing. If you were a dignitary, monarchy, or any of these things, president, prime minister, Epstein be in your ear, man. Why you gonna come over here and party with me, man? I mean, I got Little St. James, beautiful island and things, rest and relaxation, you know. I got some things, whatever, you know. So it ain't no different from the Diddy thing, just a larger scale, right? When you gonna party with me, man? I don't just say no. You got to say no to Diddy, man. You got to say no to Epstein. That's what Trump did. He said no. Trump found out what this guy was truly about. And that's why he didn't go on that island, you know? You don't go on the island when you don't know nothing about what's going on, man, you know? Especially when you're high profile like that, you got to watch every step you take because things you could be compromised. And this is what happened with a lot of our people. They're compromised, right? You know, they're compromised. This is how you keep control. Keep control, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because the people that been on that island, they had to play ball, you know? They had to play ball, man. Let me see here, though, you know. I think I'm going to play something else. I just want to see where my comments are. I don't want to get too far behind. All right, some said facts. Let me see if I can catch it from the top. And I thank you guys for coming in here, man, you know. This is kind of like spur of the moment before I get out here to work, man. I already had my breakfast early this morning. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. Let's see here. Joey Joe says, hello. Yeah, hello back to you, Joey Joe. Joey Joe in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Joe. Yeah, right. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Billy Sharp. Keeping it sharp with Billy Sharp. Man, I ain't seen Billy Sharp in a long damn time. I know, Billy. Yo. How is it going, bro? I know. Long time no see. YouTube doesn't like me. See, I know, right? Billy Sharp, man, I was wondering where you was, boys. Billy Sharp remember me back in the early days, man. Well, you know, Billy, man, YouTube really don't like what I have to say, man. They really don't. They would basically just, you know, shadow ban, you know. Boy, I tell you. Billy Sharp, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you got to hold on. That's Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp was rocking with me in the early days, man. I was wondering about where you were and things, man. So, yeah, Billy, man, welcome, man. Welcome to the channel, man. Yep, let me see here. Hola. Yep, we got Yodi. Yeah, I'm saying hola. Come on, star. Let me see. We got Jason. Not Jason Black, but Jason Beatrice. Yo, I'm a black man that went Republican. I liked it. I like it, though, man. I like that, man. It's a black man that went Republican, man. You right about that, man. You know what I'm saying? They be thinking I'll be making this stuff up, Jason. Thank you for the like. Boy, Jason says, I remember when Democrats supported the unions and shit, but now They just woke ass broke. You know, when you go woke, you go broke. Jason, you know you over here speaking facts, my brother, you know. Boy, look at that, man. You know we all brothers. It don't, like Michael Jackson said, it don't matter if you're black or white. It don't matter if you're black or white. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah, let me see here. Happy Max says, people finally giving up on the lies of the 60s. I know that's right, Happy Mac. Yeah, because we've been lied to, black, white, and other. We have been lied to, man. We have been hoodwinked. We have been bamboozled. Isn't that what Malcolm X used to say? Yeah. Yeah, so it's true, you know. We have been lied to. Happy Max said, finally. Yep, finally. Yeah, it's true, you know. Let me see here. Let me see. Jason says, I mean, we're going to post this up to you so that way you guys can see it. Right? So Jason says the Democrats have locked out, right, for illegal LGBTQ. We just, the NIGGA, and then the S, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's exactly what it is. That's how they played us, though, you know what I'm saying? They leapfrogged over the black community to the LGBTQ community when they're only like 4 to 5%. Ain't that something? I would even give them 6% now, somewhere between that number. They're not even double digits, right? Boy, I tell you, Jason says they sent illegals to our community. Look at this, boy. Jason over here just hitting, look at this, kicking facts. They sure did. They put it right in the black communities, right? They don't even rock with us, man. They don't even like us, man. They never liked us, you know? Name an ethnic group that they sent over from these war-torn countries over here in America. They put them in the black community. Name them. Which one like they rock with us? None of them, right? No, right? We have more relations with the brown, Hispanics, Latino, more so than these others that's coming over here, right? That's what I'm just saying, you know. I got friends that are Latino too, you know. Boy, I tell you. Look at this. White liberals send illegals back to our communities, as I was just saying, right? Boy, I tell you, man. Let me see here. What else? Happy Max says, open borders, but they won't leave their front doors open or the keys in the ignition. Hypocrites and fools. He's absolutely correct. Boy, look at this. Jason, boy, Happy Mac is cooking them, boy. Y'all cook, boy. I'm going to post it. And that's exactly what it is. These are hypocrite progressive liberals with they lying, you know what, ASS. They sure are hypocrites. What's it? MH, it was a HMH or HM Hug, you know? It's an interesting name. He says, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You got to be blind, crippled, and crazy to think otherwise about the progressive liberal Democrats or Demo KKK rats. Johnson was a devil. That's what I'm saying, though. Now, Lyndon B. Johnson, when Malcolm X made that speech, this is obviously before his assassination, our dear brother Malcolm X, right? But the thing about it is simply this, right? He knew the con and the BS. Because Lyndon B. did not want blacks to integrate into the Democrat Party. Facts, right? Jason says he's definitely right. It's true, you know what I'm saying? And you guys know the history too. But when we don't know the history, we're doomed to repeat it. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about that. Boy, I tell you, Jason says white liberals want to send illegals, right, to our black communities, not theirs. It's true. It's the same thing. You remember, Jason, and everyone else. You remember when the Democrats were under Biden, when they allowed, there was catch and release? They caught them at the border and then flooded them over there in Texas, right? What did Gregory Abbott had to do? He rounded them up, bust them to New York and put them over there in Marcus Venue. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, right? This is exactly what he did. If it would have been me, I would have done the same thing. Jason says, overcrowding and replacement. Look at our schools now, because our public school system, since they've flooded our communities. It was already bad enough with us. I remember going to school, 34 students in the class, something that was unheard of, not in the black community. And then they have to take special care for them because obviously English is not their first language. And I'm not just talking about people from Mexico. There was so many ethnic groups that came through there as well. That's what I'm saying, right? This is exactly what ended up happening. And they got the set-asides, and they got the special attention, and they got taxpayer money to set them up. Staying in the Hilton, the Hilton Carlton or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Not the Hilton, but the Carlton, Ritz-Carlton, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? These luxurious hotels that you and I can even go to, right? Make it make sense. Happy Mac says true. They don't want strong traditional families. No money in it. It's true. Because strong traditional families in America, especially in the black community, you don't need black leaders, right? They can't get the funding that they used to from these demo KKK rats. They can't get the money, right? So you got some of these people on here that are influencers as well, too. And I'm going to go ahead and bust this out again. See, with some of these influencers, right, that rah-rah for the left, they're getting something, ladies and gentlemen. They're being paid by dark money. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Because who would go to bat for something like that unless if they were getting paid? Nobody is that dumb and stupid, right? This is why you have guys like Santana Jones. There's so many of them, right? What's that, Kabari and all these other dudes? And these dudes are black. It doesn't even make any sense. They are either they're from the hood or they don't care, right? Because like it is, if you're getting paid to push propaganda, and some of you may take it, you know? I always said, Trump doesn't pay me to do this. I don't get paid by Trump whatsoever. Oh, yeah, I forgot the camera, man. Well, what am I doing? Oh, yeah, there I am. There I am. Dang. Forgot to have it because, I put the video on. I want y'all to see the full magnitude of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is, right? Let's see here. Jason says, my whole black community votes Republican now. We're church-going people. Absolutely. Did I post that? I'm going to post it again if I did or not. I forget sometimes. But you're absolutely right, Jason. You guys, Happy Mac, you guys are all cooking them. Mm-hmm. Yep, you're all cooking them. Let me see here. I bet that, let me see here. Texas Jane says, I bet that ticked Hillary off. You know it did. Hillary, you already know. You already know, though, Yeah, they've been grilling Hillary, boy. I love it, boy. I love it, boy. She don't recall nothing. She don't recall nothing when they got actual photos of them together with Epstein. Oh, I never met him. I don't know the guy. Even at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Chelsea Clinton, not Kelsey Grammer. Chelsea Clinton, right? Boy, I tell you. Let me see here. Punjab says, Punjab, let me see. Punjab says, Trump is rational, unlike Sleepy Joe and Harry Camel. I never heard it put like that before. Punjab said it. You know what I'm saying? Punjab said it. Yeah, he'll tell you too. Punjab, I bet you Punjabi too, aren't you, Punjab? Punjab is probably Punjabi. It's all good though, Even Punjab from that's even saying, look at what he said. I posted it up there. I appreciate you showing up there in Punjab, Boy, let's see here. Texas Jane said facts 100. What's that? Chuck Chew. What do you say? Deport white women. Now, wait a moment now. Hold on now. We ain't going to be over here deport no white women now. Hold on now. We don't need to deport no woman, to be honest. Shoot, man. Got to have some women. You know what I'm saying? You probably meant to say some of these old liberal white women, the ones that are insane, that can't keep a man, what is it, different color hair, piercings and so forth. Are you talking about them type of women? Yeah, we don't want those. That I don't want. Lone Wolf and Cub. I like the movie, man. What's that? What's that? Shogun Assassin. Yeah, that's what that was really from. Yeah, you bought that life too. That's a great movie, boy. Back in 1980, 81, man. Boy, Lone Wolf and Cub, man. The only people I see that are upset is Islamic terrorists and Democrats. I'm going and post that though. Lone Wolf and Cub, you see what he had to say? Yeah, man. And I have to agree with you. They're all upset and things like that. Look at Iran now, man. They have Trump. I read his latest thing on Truth, So Truth Social. Trump wants the Iranian people to take back their country now that the terrorists, what we call it, besides terrorists, a tyrant over in Iran, the Khomeini and things, man. The Ayatollah, not Khomeini, but the Ayatollah over there. They already said that him and his circle, his closest circles, were bombed and killed. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he wants them to take back their country, establish a democracy over there so they can be free, right? This is what this is about. Because it was hard for them to do it when you have a totalitarian government, right? This people over there, the leadership is so severe. A friend of mine, Kirk, was trying to breaking this stuff down, in regards to the different forms of what I like to call it, totalitarian is what I like to call it, because it's not always on the left. It can be on the left and the right. And one day I'm gonna have Omega on here where he'll be able to explain in detail about that, because there was an oversight on my part that he corrected me about. And I said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense though too, because like he said, they will play both sides. Right now, it's pretty obvious right now that the side of villainy right now is the left, right? For sure, right? And this is why they hate Trump so much, because if Trump wasn't a threat to them, then they would, because when, who was it that was Republican? Oh yeah, the Bushes. The Bushes wasn't a threat to the Demo KKK establishment at all, because they were one and the same. They were playing cosplay, right? When you start really thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen, the Bushes never came under great scrutiny like Trump, being debanked and deplatformed and going after his children in the legal system. They never had that type of smoke, man. Nor did Obama. No, none of them have as presidents. They never had that type of smoke, right? Trump, on the other hand, had that smoke, right? I'm just saying. Yeah, man. And I appreciate you guys for showing up. I appreciate the likes, too. Nina Rader says, USA, I know that's right. USA, 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 USA. Boy, don't it feel good? Don't you get a warm feeling, a snuggly, cuddly feeling inside to be from the United States? You know how lucky you are, 9 Raider? I'm calling you Nina, sorry. 9 Raider, do you know how lucky you are, man, to be an American, born American, whether you're born or got your natural citizenship? You are American. Don't you guys know how blessed you are, how lucky you are to be an American? I'm proud to be an American. God shared his grace on me. He sure did. And I like to thank all the men who died. But you know what I'm saying? And we do. We got to stand up, because we got the greatest country on earth, right? We're not going to let some damn punk, progressive liberals take it from us. You know what I'm saying? Right? And 9 Raider says, and I'm a black American. Man, that's what I'm talking about. See, they be thinking that, thank you for the light. 9 Raider, and the rest of y'all, they be thinking that I be lying about black Trump supporters. I got a lot of black, what they don't realize, thank you for the light. What they don't realize, I got a lot of black men and women that rock with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason that they are undercover, the reason why a lot of blacks are still happy to be undercover, you know what I'm saying? Because they know how dangerous it is being a black man, right? In America, especially in the black community. Most people can't even wear this hat without having no static. even in their own community. It's true, because our community as black folks are very cultish like that. You know, I'm so used to looking over here. I can't forget I got a camera over here. So it's like, it's very cultish. It's a cultish thing, ladies and gentlemen. To be black in America is very cultish, because not only that, you have to love sports, you have to perform in sports, you have to be a great dancer, right? You even got, there's a lot of things you got to be good at. Just being mediocre, they'll ridicule you in the black community. And black folks know what I'm talking about when I say that. We are very unique, unlike any other ethnic group. See, you guys got community, we don't. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. Most of us as black, we got little small friends that are black, and others is like non-black like me, you know? Because again, you get too many brothers in the room, it's gonna be a fight. Sisters too, so it's gonna be, just look at the, when you show up at the family reunion. I'm just saying, boy, I tell you, man, Yeah, 9 Raider says, Democrats are segregationist, right? And socialist. They really are. And that's just the thing about it, man. I put my matrix up yesterday. It's actually the chart that shows people, if you look at Nazism, and I'm talking about, and I shared this with a friend of mine yesterday. Look at their policies, we're talking about socialism, socialist programs, right? And then you look at what's going on over there on Nazis, and then you look at the stuff that the Democrats are doing. Because I told them the Democrats did it first before the Nazis did it. How you think Hitler got inspired to do what he did to those poor Jews over there in Germany, right? It's a fact, right? This is the type of stuff that we're dealing with here. And when black folks started waking up and started looking at this, and for some of you guys that know, you know that the Republican Party is the party of our ancestors, not the Democrats. The Democrats are not the party of our ancestors. You know, they don't want to debate me on this stuff because they know they will lose. See, it's easier just to deflect. They want to, like I said before, stay talking about Trump because they know Trump is a hot topic, right? And they talk about modern day stuff to get you, let's say, to lose sight of what their party truly represents. It's the party of racism, bigotry, segregation, as 9 Raiders said, right? We talk about redlining as well. We talking about Jim Crow, right? There's a lot of things that they party on the left represent. They control basically all our so-called black leaders, and this is why they can't do nothing for us, right? Without their puppet master's position, right? You name me the leader, and all we got to say is look at the black community. Right? They're like pinup, you know what I'm saying? They just there as a figurehead. But really, man, we the only group that have to have a black leader. You don't see white people talking about my white leader. You don't hear Asian people talking about my Asian leader. You don't hear Indian people talking about my Indian leader. In America, we're just Americans, man. And I'm the same way. I don't have a black leader. Who voted for these guys? Oh, yeah. So like we voted for these people to be our black leader, you know? I mean, Al Sharpton, Sharpton don't speak for me, right? Farrakhan don't speak for me, right? And all the rest of them, right? They don't speak for me, man. I'm an independent. I think for myself, right? That's the thing about it. So therefore, facts, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? 9 Raiders. I mean, I'm just saying. I know you're a Raiders fan. That's all good. Yeah. But I'm just saying, though, you know, these people don't speak for us, man. We, as a man, you speak for yourself. Your man in your own house, man. You're gonna hold these guys up high. And what have they done? Nothing. We still got problems now. We get where they can have a reunion every year, celebrating what? When look at the communities, they never got any better. I'm just saying, you don't have a fish store, don't have a fish market, right? You know, the Arabs took over that. Don't have a suit shop. You know what I'm saying? Don't have any type of places, not even a supermarket. What's up with that, man? We still don't have we still don't have a supermarket. Still don't. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, so that's the thing about it. Trump is different. AT, I'm going to tell you, Trump is different, right? Because Trump is in the seat to make policy changes, which he has, right? So let's go down through it. Shall I? Right? Because if we were to start it, we got some of the worst neighborhoods, right? That Trump had to send National Guards in, like Washington, D.C., Memphis, Chicago, and so forth. It was some areas, man, as a black person, you couldn't even sit on your porch, let alone walk down the street. There was so many violence and all type of stuff going on. This was Democratic-controlled cities, right? Got to be careful. You got to be more careful, boy, when you start bringing up Trump and talking about who he speaks for. He speaks for the American people in America. This is why Trump is so popular. It's something, TA, that a lot of people just don't seem to understand, right? Trump has been winning ever since he sworn in an inauguration. He's been hitting the ground running. I've never seen a president work so hard for the American people, man. He's been writing, executive order. I lost track of how many executive orders. And now that they're being, decoded, they're being coded into law, meaning that when another president after Trump, it will be very difficult to change these things, man. This is real change, right? Thank you for the light. That's what this is about. This ain't about, liking him and loving him. He has done more for the American people. And you see all the lawfare stuff that's popping up. You got low-level judges, right, that's overstepping their boundaries, because we know with Democrats, they don't believe in having boundaries. Progressives do not believe in having boundaries. They don't. They don't believe in having boundaries. You can't tell them, you got to be here and there. They've been stepping way up. They believe in big government, right? They believe in censorship. They believe in totalitarian system, because that's where we were about to head towards had, Kamala Harris would have gotten in there, Boy, I tell you, man. Kamala Harris, boy, hold on for a minute. You know how I like to do. Boy.
Hello.
I want to talk to you.
Are you serious? Her for president?
Over
there.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh.
Round brush. I was waiting for you to say it. Love goodness. You're like,
I
no,
tell you.
because you in the court. You may clap.
Boy, this is pitiful, ain't it?
And your answer is part of the job.
Sound like the Joker, the female Joker.
Okay, we don't.
Paint her face white like the Joker. Paint her face.
Okay. You're welcome. Pull out a Venn diagram.
Boy, I'm so embarrassed. Boy, I tell you. Lori Parks says black female hair will never ever vote for Trump going to vote in a midterms election that are coming up. Going to vote Democrat to help vote the Republicans out of office. And I'm only reading this real slow, just so that we're clear on that. And she said it twice. She didn't say it once, she said it twice. Was that just type? She said it twice. Good for you, Lori Parks. This is America. I can't tell you who to vote. I can't tell you better not vote. I would never tell anybody anything like that, because this is what makes America. But since you are a black female voter, and I've already been speaking facts over here, and maybe some things that you were not aware of, right? But let me remind you of the wisdom words of Malcolm X. All right, hold on for a minute. Let me go ahead and cue him back up, because I don't think Lori Parks been in here long enough. So I'll let you hear what he has to say. Stick around. You may learn something.
Democrat is nothing but a Democrat. Whoever runs the Democrats is also the father of the Dixiecrats. And the father of all of them is sitting in the White House. I say it again. You got a president who's nothing but a Southern segregationist.
And just to clarify, this happened. This is obviously a period piece in time, right? This could have been 64, 65. It was definitely before he was assassinated in 66. The president that he was referring to was Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. was a known racist, and he hated black people, and he did not want the blacks to integrate into the Democratic Party. Facts. So I know facts may hurt some people that are liberals, but, you know, I do what I do, and I do what I must to tell the truth. What else is it that, far as with the Democrats, what Malcolm was saying, right? He said Dixiecrats and Democrats, right? Your Dixiecrats was down in the Southern South, the antebellum South, Dixie, right? These are the people, right, that was responsible for slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, right? These were policies. My other video, I did another live maybe about 3 or 4 days ago depicting what the Democratic Party was doing from the 1800s. I would say after the slavery was abolished, 1865, we had the Reconstruction period, right? And things after the Reconstruction period was over with because there was jealous, liberal, Democrat, Dixiecrat whites that shut that down, right? They didn't want blacks in the political party no more. As they said, they thought blacks was being too uppity, right? If you look at the history of the Ku Klux Klan, they were started by liberals, right? We're talking about your Confederacy are liberal Southern whites. Facts, right? Don't hate the messenger. You should be hating the game. That's exactly what it is. So if you stick around long enough, you may learn something, you know, because like it is though, I'm sure that you don't know these things though, obviously, right? Yeah, I'm hating on Harris. You know why I'm hating? She says I'm hating on Harris. I ain't hating on Harris. Harris don't have anything up here in the head. She was never about, you guys get duped. Harris wasn't a black woman. She only played that card to get the black vote, sweetie Petey, right? I'm just saying the truth, right? She does have an annoying laugh. She's not a great debater. You know this. She's not. She had to be coached in her ear with wearing that wireless earring in her ear. Look at the black men, 1,500 black men that was incarcerated for frivolous marijuana charges. And look at the ones that was over there for crime and so forth. When their time was up, she gave them more time. This is your so-called black woman that's supposed to love black people so much. These are facts. Willie Brown's girlfriend, because let's face it, she would have never got in the position as being an attorney if it wasn't for Willie Brown. Willie Brown was married. She was a home wrecker, a 304 at best, right? That's it. Since you brought her up, I'm going to go down through her history a little bit. And this is why people looked at her background, blacks, white, and other. They already know that we ain't have nothing with Harris. What you talking about? Talking about hating on Harris. Harris been hating on the black community, right? Because she ain't done, you know what she does? She done the opposite. She ain't doing anything for us. So all that black sisterhood stuff don't work here. I destroy the black sisterhood. You know why? Because I don't buy into it. I don't buy into your nonsense, and I don't buy into black women nonsense, right? You either gonna step up with logic and look at the truth or get out. It's just that simple, right? Because I ain't running. I'm letting you know what it is. And a strong black man, and I need you to concede, right? Because I'm the man, right? And you the woman, right? I'm the head, you the neck, right? Know your place, right? And I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to continue telling you that. And I'm not barking down or backing down, you know? But I make you back down because your information is flawed. You don't know history. You don't know even when the Democrat Party has been established. I know it off the top of my head. You don't. And I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction of telling you, right? I know when both parties was established, and I know what both parties was about. So you are the one that's delusional. You are the one that's misinformation and so forth. Misled, sister, right? Let me go and see what Nine Raider said. I got to get into some, behind every now and then. Let's give him some verbal spanking. Nine Raider says a vote for Democrats is a vote for illegal immigrants and transgenders. That's exactly what it is. You got people like Lori that cares more about the LGBT. Thank you for the likes. People like her care more about the LGBTQ community, right? What did they do? They had to use the black community in order for them to get momentum. And when they got enough momentum, they jumped away from the black community. Same thing with the white liberal women and feminism, right? They knew they needed black women. And then once they got it from black women, what did they do? They jumped off of it, right? Soon as they got their leverage, right? I can give you every group, they're always in the black community first. And when they get momentum and leverage, then they leapfrog off of them, right? Black feminists and white feminists do not hang with each other, nor do they like each other, especially after white feminists. They don't need black women no more. You know what I'm saying? They got Title IX. Black women count as a double minority in this country, right? One as a female, and the second as a black female. Thank you for the likes. Look at my room and look at my likes in here. If I was lying, why do I have so many likes, sister? You know what I'm saying? Could it be that I may know what I'm talking about? And could it be that you may not know what you're talking about? This ain't got nothing to do with Kamala personally. This is about her merit, and she don't have it. Sorry, right? That's exactly what it is. See, she missed the point. She doesn't understand. I'm not going to keep in. I'm not going to deal with that. She's in her feelings, and she missed the point. Michael, glad to hear you're leaving the Democrat Party. You know what? I put that title in there. I never was a part of the Democrat. I always been a registered Republican. But for those that have left the Democrat Party, I'm very glad that you guys have left the Democratic Party. This is what Michael was saying. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. Nine Raider says, stop voting Democrat, black people. They don't like us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. I mean, it is. The progressive Democrat, racist, liberal, white liberals that use blacks and ill-informed blacks, misled blacks, blind blacks, and so forth, they just use them. Every year, they just use them. That's all they do. They love the black woman, right? Because, the black woman is like, what's the word I like to use, though? They like... there was a time in the South, they call them sapphires, right? And a sapphire is a fiery mouth, very highly charged female, right? That cuss, swear, and get you told, right? If you look at the sitcoms and movies, right, you always had that sapphire black woman. She's usually overweight or so, right? And if you look at it, like the mammy, that's what they call a sapphire, right? And those are the ones, unfortunately, that is running the so-called what we call the black you already know, right? The black sisterhood, right? Those is sapphires, right? This is exactly what they do. You see a sapphire even in the human resources, right? They usually have a sapphire working there too, That's why I know I could work in a conventional job anymore, because I'd be fired, right? It's a fact, I'm going to give Lori one more read, and after that, I'm going to move on. Lori Park says, I'm a child of the 60s, and I'm 65 years old. Very aware of what is going on in the past, right? Seen the glimpse of the civil rights, right, era for which we are still in. Well, I'm just saying, though, Phil, you know this, though, right? I'm just saying, I'm not attacking you for say, right? What I'm saying is that in this, you were talking about Kamala, right? That's what we were dealing with, right? Kamala was not that person. We all agree on that, though. Now, you may not, but I say that she was not black. She only used that recently. If you go back in her, when they asked her when she was dating Montel Williams back in the days, they were asking her, what was she? She was saying half Indian and white or something, but she never considered herself to be a black woman until she started running for the presidency. And you got to keep in mind, for her to vice president, she never beat anybody. Remember, when she was running for the presidency, right? She lost in the primaries on the first round, right? That position was a DEI. If anything, Kamala is a DEI hire, right? As a DEI vice president. All Biden said that he was going to do, he said, I wanted to vote for somebody, but she's going to be a female and she's going to be black. That's all it was. To get the black vote, to try to swing the people over, right? They did Obama 2.0, but switched it. Obama was just a better performer than she was. Obama was a better speaker than she was. Obama followed directions from his puppet masters better than Kamala did. That's why she lost, right? It wasn't off of merit. Even Obama had to run and won the primaries. What's the name? Did not. Harris did not. That was a DEI given to her. So that's why I call foul on her, right? For a lot of reasons. I'm not making this up. Nine Raider says, I don't want the Democrat masculine woman. Right. We don't. We don't want that. Not at all. But I'm just saying, though, we know what it is, Nine Raiders, man. Because those are because I don't even consider Kamala Harris as a masculine woman, really. She's kind of a little bit, but not really, She's not really. But, yeah, I agree with you. We don't need a masculine. No. Lori says, remember all the speeches of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr.? Absolutely. Late Reverend Jesse Jackson? Absolutely. The list goes on and on, right? Majority of MAGA voters no, you got it wrong, saying that they're racist. No, I can't agree with you right there, sister. No, your party is the racist. Matter of fact, let me put this up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for Lori. A lot of you other guys know this, though. I covered this already. We're gonna put the chart up right quick. Do a teaching lesson real quick, and then I'm gonna call it. But I just want her because, you're under the assumption because of what history have told you. The Democrats taught you to hate Republicans. I know the bag where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. Hold on for one moment. Let me go pull this up. Let's go and pull this one up. I think let me do this here. We're gonna go pull this one up. Okay. Yeah, we're going to pull this up. Let me take the flag down for a minute. Don't that beautiful American flag, man? You know how lucky you are, Lori, to be an American? Do you know how lucky you are to be an American, to be over here to say what you want to say, right? You know how lucky you are? Maybe you do and maybe you don't. But I'm just saying, hold on for a minute. I want you to be able to see this here. Hold on for a minute. All right, what else here? All right, let's do this here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in front. There we go. All right, there we go right here. All right, let me move myself out the way a little bit, get myself out of there. All right. Now, Lori, what do you see here? If I were to cover up the Nazi on the left, because the Democrats stood for socialism, the Democrats stood for gun control, the Democrats stood for control the media, which they did with the tech, even down through the tech companies. They were deplatforming or debanking people if you were voted for Trump. Who's the racist, right? Trump never did any of this stuff to you, but the Democrats did only because if you voted for Trump. Censorship, abortion, worshiping the government, and encouraging violence. May I remind you, BLM, Summer of Love, No Kings, 1, 2, and 3. Shall we keep going? These are racist policies that are coming from the left. There is no different than what they taught in Nazi Germany. Where do you think the Germans got the ideology from? They got it from the Democrats over here on the shores of America. This is where they got this stuff from. Do you realize that you are supporting a party that is against, right? When I hear you say this stuff, this is what you're protecting. I just put this up. I'm gonna put the chart up and keep it up. This is what you're protecting. This is why it's contradictory. You will lose in a real argument because somebody that's a history buff for real, I mean, I know a lot about some things, but you would lose the debate. Because if you go into your history of your party, you've been around in the 60s. If we were to dial it back even further, you know yourself. If you look at, you know that after slavery was abolished, because the Democrat Party was started in 1828. The Republicans in 1854, right? The Republicans was started, basically blacks and whites got together, right? Stop the spread of slavery going out to the West. Remember, Democrats was rah-rahing for, they wanted slavery to come back, right? Do you know that the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendment was actually designed for us only, right? 13th Amendment, to stop slavery, right? The abolishment of slavery. 14th Amendment, right? When we talk about birthright citizens, because once the slaves were free, with slave babies, what? They had to be automatically granted as citizens in this country, right? This is the reason why we're here today. Ain't nobody rounding us up. We are protected under the Constitution of the 14th Amendment. Let me give you another one. The 15th Amendment, right? This is the one that allowed black people to vote. This is real policies, right? And you know who started these policies? They were Republicans. So then again, if the party of Republicans are racist, then that would mean that none of this stuff, we should be looking at a chart under your logic, Lori Parks, under your logic, madam. It shouldn't be a D here. It should be an R over there, not a D, right? So I want you to really, really do more research on your party and stop allowing the Democrats to tell you what it is. When you start to really do your research and really start to look at your party, and then when you find this truth one day, then you should be putting demands on your party for change. But they're not going to do it. You'll be better off coming on our side just like everybody else had to. And when they found out this truth, why do you think they switched? I'm not making this up. This is not me lying. I'm just telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what it is. And I'm going to keep this up here because therefore it would defeat everything that you're saying about the Republicans. I already know that you don't know this history because if you did, you would have been too embarrassed trying to defend your party. Your party is the reason that we have so much of strife and what we said, lack of wealth in this country, right? They came after all Americans, but they hit the black community first, right? With their policies, right? This is what it was. It wasn't for the better. It was designed to, they got rid of segregation. You realize that blacks had more wealth under segregation than without? Black folks wasn't living in ghettos like that. We had neighborhoods, right? Thriving with commerce, black commerce and everything. We had over 100 bus lines, right? Until Martin Luther King, we got to ride on the bus. Blacks stopped patronizing the black bus lines and so forth. They stopped patronizing the black supermarkets. They stopped patronizing. I don't know where in the South that you grew up at in the 60s, but you should know what I'm talking about. And the people that were doing this were Democrats, not Republicans. I don't know how you just what you just said though. It wasn't true. It doesn't make any sense of what you're saying. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. Let me see what's reading here. Let me see. Michael says, "Hey, hi Tony. Long time no see. Yeah, Michael, man. Michael Dillon, man. We got Michael Dillon in the house. Man, I'm starting to see some of my people, man, that been on. Let me see. Let me put Michael right there. Put his comment right there. Yep. Hold on. Where's my thing at here? Hold on for a minute. I got to do Michael right, you know. Boy, I got to do Michael right. Hold on for a minute. There you go. Michael Dillon, man. Man, welcome back, Michael, man. What's up, man? Long time no see, man. Ain't this something, man? Ain't this a wonderful, wonderful treat here, man? Oh, man, look at this. Yeah, Michael, man. Share this with other people, too. I'm talking about people, because in order for us to get more blacks over to the right, they got to know the history of the left, you know? There's no derangement. I don't have Democratic derangement. I don't have Kamala Harris derangement, right? But many of you, I can't say the same for you on the left that claim to hate Trump so much. I don't have any hatred towards anybody. We were taught not to hate people, right? I may not like the policies, but not to sit up here and attack the person personally. You'll never hear me make any type of accusations about Kamala. No, none of them. I'm just speaking on her policies and what she have done to the black men and women, for that matter. You know, looking at her history in California. Come on now, right? So that's basically what that is, you know. Let me see here. I don't want to go too far. I gave you some. I gotta move on now. Nine Raiders says, and Obama didn't pass one policy that benefited the black. That benefited black people as a whole. It's true. Obama is another one. I've been talked about Obama, but if we want to talk about Obama, why not? Because they kind of go hand in hand with each other, right? Because we know he was only put there, right, to push policy changes that affected America. Obama was the one that divided America, right? When Obama pushed, he leapfrogged over the black community as well and went straight for the LGBTQ community. That's why we call him the first gay president, right? Because of the policies that Obama pushed for the LGBTQ community, which at the time there was like 4%. You know, blacks, 13 point something percent, give or take a few, right? Who should have gotten more attention? LGBTQ community, or should it would have been blacks? Long time Democrat supporters, between 60 and 70 years to be exact, give or take a few there as well. How does that get attention? How does the LGBTQ community get the attention over the blacks? We know why, right? So all this stuff about Obama being a great president, all he was is a smooth snake oil salesman, smooth as glass. Came in, like to say to all my fellow constituents, hello, Chicago, you know? I mean, yep, talking about change. Yeah, that's what he was about. It was change, all right. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't do anything for the black community. Not one iota. Facts, right? Oh, was it Trump did more for the black community than Obama did, you know? May I say he started by getting the crime thing together, getting this healthcare reform turned around, not only for blacks, but every other American. Because when America wins, black people wins. But when the Democrats talk about when America wins, America meaning that the people in charge, their leadership wins while everybody else suffers. See, that's the difference, right? That's the difference. I tell you, boy, let me see here. Let me see here what we have here. Let me see here. Blah blah blah. What? Oh yeah. AK Day Dub says, let me see here. As a socialist, the Democrats aren't even remotely close to being socialists. I said but socialists. If you want to make these comparisons, do a better job in research. Okay, I'll take you on, AK. You know what I'm saying? What you got? What you got? Right? What do you have about it? You know? What do you have? I'm talking about here on the shores of America, right? Because it's pretty obvious that the Democrats swing ultra left with what we call progressive policies. And like I said, in their literature and what their policies stand for does mirror what is going on over here on the left when they talk about the Nazis and so forth. So for you just to say that, you ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? You still ain't said nothing though. Then to put it, you should do a better job than this coming up. You have a right to come up here. You the one hiding behind an avatar, an anime avatar. If you was really about that, AK, you would show your face. You would step up and say who you really are. Because anybody could be big and brag behind an avatar. You know what I'm saying? If most of them know what I look like, right? I mean, you know, you claiming you're so big and bad to be able to educate me. Do tell. I mean, it's open. I mean, you know, do tell. What do you got? That's what I'm saying. Crickets? What do you have? That thing about it, I don't run from a debate ever. But for you to make a statement like that, I want to see if you can back it up. I really do. I really would like to see if this person can back it up. Are you about that life for real, for real? I really would like to know. Yeah, let me know. Because it don't take that long to type if you were really about that life. Nine Raider says, the Democrats is whatever it takes to get the vote. Absolutely. They have no soul. That's what I say. So if we want to play this game, here it is, Nine Raiders. We already know. Remember I said about the rhinos, Republicans in name only. Because historically, they did play on both sides at a certain point in history. This is why, because like I said before, give you an example. Bush Senior and Junior, they didn't never go under any type of scrutiny that President Trump have done. There was people that didn't like him, but he never been debanked, deplatformed, attempt assassination. None of these things happened under the Bushes. This is the question that we have to ask, right? None of these, they didn't come under any type of scrutiny. They were over here like cosplay, WWE. This is the thing with them. I'm just using them as an example, right? Because normally with these type of ideologies, when it's socialist and so forth, they will hide under different umbrellas, but it'd be the same thing. We've seen this in Europe. This is the same stuff over here. It's the same old stuff. This is old stuff. This is old stuff. This ain't something new, but that's why down below, history repeating. This is exactly what it is. Boy, I tell you, man. Mr. Wizard says, Hitler used Jim Crow laws to make Nazis, and the same Jim Crow laws that Biden used to keep black children out of white schools. Exactly, Mr. Wizard. This is exactly what it is. So, you know, this is where the problem is, and the great disconnect, because they don't, thank you for the like, they don't seem to know the history. They think that that Democrats got it from, no, Nazis, the Nazi party and Hitler got it from us over here in the United States. That's a fact. They got it from here, right? This is exactly what it is. Let me see here. Panda, I'm going to call you Panda, right? Are you MAGA? Absolutely. I'm for making America great, sir. I'm proud to be an American. Absolutely, sir. You know, don't you know how lucky you are, Panda, to be an American? Oh, he gave the thumbs down, Panda. Oh man, are you a woman, Panda? You got a little cute pink bow in your panda bear ear. You know, are you a woman? Are you a female? You know. Yeah, man. And so I said, they thumbs it down. They got to thumb it down again. Boy, I just let me see here. Bud Russell says the Democrats keep beating the dead heart of racism, trying to divide us. Yeah, because they use a race card all the time. It worked with blacks for so long. You know what I'm saying? That's why Lyndon B. Johnson, what's a famous speech he says? I can have the blacks voting Democrat for the next 200 to 300 years. And I mean, quote, now he didn't say that. You had to put the N word on it because he was a known racist. You know what I'm saying? For you to be able to hold up a party on the left, it's just like saying that the Jews, do they support the Hitler? Absolutely not. No, they would not. A black Jew, I mean, you know, I don't know. I never considered myself as a black anything, because black ain't even a race. you know. Let me see here. SW Guy says they couldn't even stop Nazis from taking over. How do we stop the Democrats from taking over here? Well, spreading awareness first and foremost, making sure we all go out and vote in the midterms to make sure we make it too big to rig, right? Let me move you up here, see if you can see it a little bit better. To make it too big to rig, right? That's what we have to do, you know? Because like I said, they're still proving their point on the left because this is a party of hatred, right? They encourage violence, BLM, Summer of Love, right? These were some of the ones, right? As well as the No King stuff got very violent. They're not trying to have dialogue with us. They believe in spitting, punching, attacking. They are the aggressors, the aggressives. They are, right? Not us. They prove our point. Just like Happy Mac says, you are proving his point. Absolutely, Happy Mac. It's easy to do it because when they come in here and start speaking, and one thing about it, as I always say, progressive liberals and liberals hate a black conservative, especially one that knows what he's talking about. Leo says, I like your channel, brother. I appreciate it, though, Leo, man. You are more welcome, man. I'm just having a good time talking. You know, we're all talking here. We want America to win. Y'all miss my American anthem, though. I got free royalties. It says copyright free. So YouTube, yeah, you know. And it was by a young lady by the name of Ashley LaRue that sung that song. It was like a pickleball. You know, she sung that before the pickleball championship. And she did a very, very good boy voice. And once this thing is over, you guys will hear the Star Spangled Banner. It's a beautiful piece. And she did a very good job of singing it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Do y'all know how lucky you are, how blessed you are to be an American, man, where you can even criticize the president, right? If instead of overthrowing the government, all you got to do is go out and vote, man, because we're civilized. We have the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, right? We have all these things, right? Boy, look at this, boy. You know, this is what we call a functioning society. But what have the Dems do? They've been showing the opposite, right? They believe in violence, attacking. Shit, they can't even look at it. They even got lower courts trying to tell an executive position, the highest court of the land, what to do. Don't y'all find that very strange? Don't you find that to be like whacked out like I don't know what? Let me see here. Civilized Goon says, as soon as the Democrat Party realized that they have lost the black vote, they are flooded. Okay, they'll flood his country with illegal aliens and end up taking jobs, housing. Shit, they was doing that, Civilized Goon, when they had Biden in the office. You know what I'm saying? When Biden was in there, you know, it was a catch and release. The borders, Trump built most of the wall, didn't have time to complete it. What did they do? They just let him in. Here you go, come on in. We were flooded between 15 to 25 million illegals in this country, right? And like you said, to your point, though, Civilized Goon, they were taking the jobs, right? They were causing the inflation, the housing inflation. Every city across the United States, in these black communities that we talked about earlier, that's the first place they send them. Liberal whites don't send in these illegal aliens in their communities. No, they send them in the black community. That's what they did. So for the blacks that want to blame government, guess who to blame? You should be blaming Biden, you know, because Biden was the one that allowed them to come into these black communities, though, right? Look at the damn housing. The whole damn cost of living went up tremendously, right? I mean, damn, right? Nina Raider says, hit that like button. Man, I like what you're saying there, Raider, man. You know, I got you covered, though, man. You know, I'm going to have to go ahead on and make you a mod as well. I'm going to have to get more mods. I do got mods in here, man, but, yep, I'm going to have to deputize some of you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to roll out, you know. Sheriff Tony Love, you know. Boy, I'm going to have to get myself my sheriff badge. I tell you. I'm going to take care of you, though, too, man. I'm going to hit you up. Let me see here. Can I do that now? Hold on for a minute. Let's see here. Hold on for a minute. I know I did this before. Hold on for a minute. I thank you for the likes too, ladies and gentlemen. you guys has been doing, boy. That's what I say. 9 Raider been knocking it out the park, man. That's what I'm talking about. Let me see here. I definitely I'm gonna do it afterwards, man. I'm just trying to, cause if I was on regular YouTube, I'm using another software to stream. But if I was on regular YouTube, I would be able to do it a lot easier though, to make you a mod, man, which I'm going to do. For some of you guys, man, over here, Happy Mac, some of you guys gonna be deputized, man. Because we're going to roll out. Hang 'em high, man. Remember that one with Clint Eastwood? One of my favorites, man. Hang 'em high, man. Hang 'em high, man. We're going to be seeing a lot of, when they go to the military tribunal courts and stuff for this treason that they were doing with Obama and them. Boy, I'm looking forward to it, boy. I really am. Let me see here. Let me see it, Rex. Okay, let me see, read what you guys said. Okay, we have, is that Ether? I'm going to look like that's what that is. Blacks shooting each other every day. It's so true, though, Ether. Blacks are shooting and killing each other every single day. No politician ever stopped the outcry of black. They never done anything. They talked about it, but they never done anything. Also, the revolving door, going in and out of prison. The black gangs gangs in general has always been a problem here. Right? But they utilize that for leverage to get more funding. This is what it's about. Thank you for the likes. This is never about curing crime. The Democrats had an opportunity to do it, but they weren't about that life. They say one thing and do another, right? And then the people that voted, which was a lot of blacks that voted for the Democrat Party, voted for their self-destruction. That's exactly what it is. Let me see here. Happy Max says, let me see here. Dems have always been baiters since the beginning. So true, man. Look at this, man. They've been baited. Look at this, boy. And Bud Russell says, Biden said that I don't want my kids to grow to a school in a jungle of racial jungles. Yeah, he said that. Because Joe Biden was a racist. Is a racist, Joe Biden is a racist. The guy that he spoke at, Biden spoke at Robert Byrd's funeral. The guy that was a congressman, a senator for so many years before he passed away. He was a Democrat, and he was in the Klan and everything. I'm not just saying this type of stuff. He was in the Klan at one time, because it wasn't uncommon to see a Democrat wearing a white robe. I'm just keeping it real. Chicago, Chirac. Yeah, let's look at Chirac. We got little Saigon here in Detroit. in Inkster, right? Well, you can thumb me down, but it's the truth. We hitting the nerve. I love it. But whether you like or not like it, still help the algorithms. It sure does. Look at this here, man. You guys fucked up. Look at this. You got more blacks in this room. Boy, I tell you, boy, look at this. You will ignore that shit. Shit's broken. Boy, look at that. Let me see here. Happy Max says, I was here for the anthem, and it was beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful. I'm going to play it again, too, once I'm done. I'm going to play that American anthem again. Leo says, I heard the pickleball is a big deal. Man, it's a big deal, man, all over the United States. I got friends that play. I come from a tennis background. I played tennis ever since I was a kid. But I am going to switch over to pickleball, though. I know how to play ping pong, so I can pick it up real quick. But it is fun, though. But the lady that sung it, Ashley LaRue, she done an excellent job singing the Star Spangled Banner, man. She really did, I'll tell you, man. Wow. Let me see here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. All right, got that here. Something in Arabic. Sorry, you can't read that one. But he wrote back in English. He said, Americans can't even close the wars they get themselves into, man. Well, let me just give you a little history. Most of these wars, right, on both sides, before Trump, of course, the president we all love and know, war is money, first of all, right? It wasn't about finishing it off. It's just about, it's really, ever wars is what it's really called. These wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, they were like 20 years or so. These are supposed to be on long wars. I mean, look how many wars that Trump stopped since he's been back in power. 8 wars total. Look at this. 8 wars. 8 wars, right? This is a president, peaceful president, right? Exactly. This is exactly what it is. Happy Max says, Javid Shah Rez. Okay, I'm trying to read the Indian. I look like an Indian name, though. Shout out to you anyway. Happy Max says, Biden was the worst. Sure was. You know what I'm saying? And we know that was Obama in the basement running the whole damn country the whole time. Didn't somebody come out mentioning that? Didn't they bust Joe Biden with the auto pen and all that, man? Stuff is being exposed, you know? Whether you dislike it, though, it still helped my algorithms, though, and I appreciate you guys, though, man, as we move on, man. I ain't worried about that stuff, man. But I can see them, though, with this format that I'm using. Because before, I couldn't even see anything. I wish I could see if you guys are subscribing. I really appreciate it. I just can't see it. Because I would give you a shout-out if I could see it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because when I normally go live, though, you guys don't even get the notification. I appreciate the like. You guys don't even get the notification for some of you. You know, when I go live, that's already following me. You know how that go, man, you know. Bud Russell says, Biden inherited a 1.4 inflation rate and signed 2 massive spending bills, and the price of feeding and housing and illegals drove up inflation over 9%. Bud Russell, I remember that exactly. It reached a high of 9% because when he inherited, it was 1.4. And this was, well, look at this, and that was even with dealing with COVID under Trump. And I remember that. Trump had it low as 1% before. Look at the Federal Reserves. Look at Too Late Powell. They doing this on purpose. They could cut the rates if they want to, but the globalists that control the central bank, they're not going to allow this stuff. Bud Russell, you know what's up. They're not going to. Many of y'all know what's up with this. They're not going to cut the rates because it'll make Trump make him look too good. You know what I'm saying? But when we can get a person in there, right, that can challenge things on the inside, right? Because that's what we need, though, man. You know, thank you for the likes. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, that's is the reason as to now that it's been going down a little bit. The price of eggs, certain things has been going down better than it was before. You remember when gas prices, the way they were? This was all Trump said, giving you a perfect economy. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is complete the war, continue what I was doing, you know, in regards to the economy, and everything will be fine. Do you think he did that? No. Biden did the opposite. Here we are. Now Trump got to clean it up again, right? 4 years that Biden been in office. In fact, he didn't even win the position, though. He got in there by hook or by crook. And the evidence is coming out about that, man. When is the Democrats ever going to be telling the truth about anything? Absolutely not. Thank you for the likes. Happy Max says, and the cherry on the top was his eulogy, right, of the KKK Robert Byrd. You're right. Yet the Dems still support him. Absolutely. Right? Because if you go and look this stuff up, you got to know who Robert Byrd was, the racist senator, right? That's the thing about it. All you got to do is type his name. He was part of the Ku Klux Klan, the White Robe, Grand Wizard, Grand Dragon. Which one was he? They got different titles, though, you know? Boy, I tell you, Happy Max says, that's right. Right. Nobody ain't lying over here, you know what I'm saying? It's telling the truth. Todd Tomorrow says leftists, socialism, the real kind that is just basically buying in bulk to save money, gun rights, freedom of commerce, right? All of the, let me see here. Got me a word here. You know, I may have to pronounce that word out. You know what I'm saying? Classes, no more systematic racism in housing, education. Well, for the most part of it, though, you know, like we said before, the socialist programs, when it come down to public housing, I said it many times under Lyndon B. Johnson, the Great Society, right? When we talk about the Welfare Act, the Fair Housing Act of 1968, right? Civil Rights Act in 1964, you know what I'm saying? Redlining since 1930s, I do believe, right? These are all policies from the left. Facts, right? This is why history is repeating itself. What may sound as a great thing always have some hidden clauses on it because of their policies where they created projects in the inner cities, right? Claiming that it was going to marginalize the wealth gap between blacks and whites. That did not happen. Because if you look at these inner cities, they all had riots too on top of it, right? Detroit was no different. The 67 riots in Detroit, you had the riots in Watts, right? You had the riots in Cincinnati. You had the riots in Cleveland. Look at all these inner cities. Your inner cities where a lot of black inhabitants, right, had riots, right? Oh, Daniel says lies. Hold on, I'm going to get to him in a minute. Everybody over here been saying, so everybody's lying, Danielson? Is that what you're saying? Everybody is lying, huh? Everybody in the room is lying. Y'all hear this? Daniel said everybody lying. Daniel said, thank you for the lights. Daniel says everybody is lying. Oh my goodness. Daniel don't know history. We already can tell that because if he did, he'll be agreeing right along with us. You can always tell when a person read or not. Kurt says Mexicans need to start doing that. There are too many of those. Yeah, but you know the Mexican, or I say Latino in general, you know, you guys have more of a larger Republican support than the blacks do. That's for sure. You guys woke up a while ago, you know what I'm saying? The Cubans and so forth, the Mexicans, most of the Puerto Ricans and so forth, when it come down to Trump, you know, and things. So yeah, you guys have a larger voting than the blacks, and we're getting there slowly though. You know, we've been the longest voting the Democrat Party as a whole of us, and we didn't get anything. You know, I just posted up just to let y'all hear what he had to say. He or she. Did you see Trump video? He put us with the Obamas, right? You just ignoring that fool. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about the video you talking about the video? I played that video. In fact, I did a whole live stream on it. You can't tell me who I should be feeling racist or whatever or not. You're not even black. You don't even have that right to even tell me that, first of all. See, liberals try to program and supposed to tell you who to hate. Like, you're supposed to be offended. I was not offended. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I don't like Obama and Michael Michelle because of the policies that Obama pushed on to the people, right? So Trump was in that same video because he was the lion, the king of the jungle, right? He put himself in there, and it wasn't Trump. It was one of his admins that posted that. You see, they took it down, you know? Usually stuff that Trump usually put up, it'd stay up, right? But I didn't get offended by that at all. And most of the blacks don't even talk about it. So for you try to talk about it, and you're not even in the black community. I can tell by looking at your photo. So once again, you can't get up here and supposed to tell us what we supposed to be talking about. I determine what's going to be offensive or not. If you don't hear me being offended by it, then I know you don't get the right to tell me otherwise. I am not your, you know what. Daniel says lies. Lies, I tell you. Lies, all lies, boy, all lies, you know. Boy, Daniel saying capitalism, greedy. Socialism, sharing, caring, Jesus values. Hey, Daniel, if that was so true, do you realize, though, Daniel, son, do you realize most of your companies, right, are in the private sector? A job that you're working right now is some type of capitalism, capitalist. Capitalists create jobs for the working people to work in them, right? If this is how you make your money, this is how they get around, you know. Nobody said the thing was perfect, but it is what it is. This is the country, the greatest country in the world, that you could be a capitalist. You are a capitalist too because you have sold stuff. See how I'm getting them right now, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel, you thought you were going to be slick, huh? You thought you were going to make that grandstand statement, think it wasn't going to go unchallenged. It's going to be challenged, man. You know, I'm challenging it right now. You see the hypocrisy? You know, but if he was in a position, see, he'd have a different mindset. You know, I'm going to tell you this. With the tax system, do you really know, will anybody get a tax return or the poor? People that's working and making a living and making earned income and so forth don't get tax returns. They pay the taxes. I'm one of them. Many of us pay taxes. Some of us are 1099, self-employed, or work for, companies and so forth that pay in the taxes, right? The poor, on the other hand, working poor, they get what we call a tax return, right? I ain't seen a tax return in years, man. Boy, I tell you, capitalism, merit like Jesus, right? Yeah, that's what Happy Mac said. See, you got it wrong. This is the proper way. I'm going to post that. What Happy Mac said, capitalism equal merit like Jesus. It's built off the sweat of your brow, not a handout. We don't believe in handouts around here, right? Nine Raider says, Mayan says, I'm more upset with the gangsters in grandma's neighborhoods shooting up the block than I am over the cartoon joke. Yeah, exactly. Why not you? Exactly. And that's who he's addressing to, the one guy that made that stupid statement. You know what I'm saying? Because here we are, there's some brothers in this room. Nine Raiders and one of them. There's a few brothers in here, so you don't get a chance to tell us what we should be racist over or not. We ain't your you know what, Slick Nick says light. I appreciate it, Slick Nick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate you as well. Happy Max says socialism is just the economic side of communism, which is validating free and will given, validating free will given by God. Yeah, exactly, right? This is exactly what it is. The economical side of communism. Because they do, when you throw them all in there, this is exactly what we're dealing with, right? Socialism destroys religion like China and Russia. I see that people know their history in this room. There's nothing good coming from socialist, communist type stuff. Yeah, because we could go through the history. China, Russia, North Korea, you know what I'm saying? To say the least. You know what I'm saying? Let me see it. Slick Nick says, Trump promise made, promise kept. Exactly. Keep it again and again. 100. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? A promise made is a promise kept. And that's coming from our president that we all know and love, which is Donald J. Trump. Exactly. Bud Russell says, Daniel Scump, name one successful socialist country. Yeah, name one successful socialist country. That's what I was really going to ask. I'm glad you brought that up, Daniel. He can't name one because the countries I just named, they are not successful at all. Every time a North Korean gets out of North Korea, if they had one to deliver a message, say, I want to stay here. I want to stay in America. I'm defecting. Look how many Cubans defected, right? Look how many Haitians and so forth defecting on the shores of America. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the light. We see the history of it. The people that ain't like it, ain't rocking with that type of ish you talking about. You want to try to hold it up. How about this? Why don't you go over there, Daniel? Why don't you take your behind over there to North Korea and let us know how it goes? Let me know. But I'm not going. Happy Max says, that's right, Nick. Black Lives MAGA. Absolutely. I got to post that one. Black Lives MAGA. That's right. There's a lot of black MAGAs in here, too. Really, we all MAGA, but I'm just saying that way that busts up the narrative about because they don't, they still think to say like this is still 1980, nobody black ain't rock. It ain't no 92% no more of blacks. It changed a lot. Mark says the Democrats and liberals are a wing of radical Islam. They really are. I couldn't say it no better. That's who they're backing. You see more mosques and temples over here in America, man, than ever before. This is exactly what they're pushing, right? Slick Nick says, subscribe. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it, though, Slick Nick, 68. Slick Nick, everybody. I ain't give a shout out, though. Unless you guys tell me if you subscribe, though, boy. But I appreciate it, though. I've been always trying to knock it out the park these days, though, with what's been going on. But but I appreciate you guys showing up, showing out, and things. I'm about to make this thing. I'm gonna read a few more, and then I'm about to get up on out of here to make that money. You guys have been doing real great. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. You guys been kicking nothing but facts, and I do love to read. I may stumble with a word or two, but you know how it is. I'm not perfect. Bud Russell says with Daniel, okay, well, Daniel, is the party of pregnant men theory, or he's probably confused. He's just probably confused, man. John says, that's hilarious, sis. Is always ignorant Trumpers. Flying that flag. You're as ignorant as, oh yeah, look at this, POS troll, But let me shoot something back to you, John. If you ain't chicken and run, let me shoot something back to you, so you should know, right? Like I told the other dude, right? Like I told the other guy, right? You don't get a chance to sit up in here and you don't have the narrative coming from the left. You are the party of racist. We know your history in this country, right? Your family may not have had involvement of slavery, but however, the whole damn party and the people that rocked on the left does. And now that they're waking up and they're coming away and moving away from the Democratic slave plantation, right? And they're not looking back because they are finding out that you are the party of racism. You are the party of bigotry. And everything that's going down this list, when it comes down to socialism, gun control, media, censorship, abortion, worship of big government, that's what should be on there, and encouraging violence. That is your party, sir, right? So I treat you as I treat the rest of them, with a middle finger back to you. How you like them apples? Bud, I'm seeing Happy Mac says, Bud, laughing. Yep. Slick Nick says, socialism equals share the poverty. Yeah, because we already know that this Buster John that come up in my room, he ain't never lived that life. He never lived in one of these communist countries before, the countries that push socialism and all this other stuff. None of us have. He know damn well that he ain't even about that life, talking about this Karl Marx BS type stuff. Name us a country in the world where it's been successful. You can't do it. Just you way out of your league in this room tonight. You way out of your league. You had the majority of the people in here, and I just been reading comment after comment after comment. The matrix, what I put up here with this chart, doesn't even support what you're talking about, sir. So you have the middle finger, and you can F off, right? And you too, Jimmy, you can heck on out of here as well too. Ain't nobody trying to hear that garbage. Your party is garbage. It's burning. You don't have the narrative anymore. You can't get up here and tell us what to say, what to do. We don't rock with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's finding out the truth. Happy Mac says, way better Kool-Aid than the poison than the Democrats been feeding the people for too many decades. Yeah, they've been feeding the same old poison Kool-Aid, even in the black community, let alone America, right? This is why we haven't gotten any better. Then we got these old low-down-ass politicians stealing the taxpayer money, setting up slush funds like USAID and all these other things. Thank you for the likes. That's where their money been going, setting up these offshore kickbacks and all this other stuff. And then they want to sit up here and try to thumb this up, trying to big this up. No, the people that got too smart. They've been red pill. Once you've been red pill, you don't go back. You know what I'm saying? You don't go back. You know, that's exactly what it is. That's what it is. Look at this. Wow, that's a lot of lies you got there. This is what 2026 is. He said that's a lot of lies you got there. Tell me, instead of these one-liners, man, why don't you tell us, type down here, because we know you ain't going to get on the mic, but I'm asking you, why don't you type down here and tell us that we all lies? Tell us that we're lying. I would like to know. He said the right-wing fascists. It's actually the left-wing fascists. The left wings are the ones that killed Charlie Kirk, our beloved Charlie Kirk. The left wing radicals are the ones that try to assassinate Trump. The left wing Tifa, the most violent organization, one of them besides the KKK. You do realize the KKK was also a leftist front as well. You have a history of leftists, right? See, I can defeat these fools, man. Talking about a debate is just too easy for me. This guy here, that's why 2026, you can't have the debate with me for real because you sounding foolish. You the one lying. You don't even know anything about your party. You the dipshit. You are the one. Man, we have MAGA ever censorship anybody. It's been coming from the left, you fool. You can't even name anything what Trump did for censorship. I can name everything for censorship. Why don't we start with COVID? How about that? Right? What you talking about? These tech companies, you weren't allowed to say about the jab. You wouldn't say about certain things. You wouldn't even allowed to say that the election was illegal. You weren't even allowed to say that. That's censorship. What this guy talking about? 2026, you was a fool, man. What an idiot. What a moron, man. What a nincompoop. Man, he don't even know the history of the Nazi party. Man, what you talking about, man? Where you think they got it from? The Klan been around for far longer than the neo-Nazis, right? What are you talking about? You the dumb fuck. Thank you for the like stuff. See, I love getting on these guys. He's an idiot. He's one of these old liberal whites. Oh, remember I told y'all, liberal whites can't stand conservative blacks. They already know. See, I can tell. I can tell with his speech, you know. Look at this. Denmark successful. Denmark ain't shit. If it wasn't for them being part of the European Union, you know who controlled the European Union? It's the globalists. And then look at all the program, look at all the tax money that been going, taking care of these welfare countries, right? Denmark ain't no damn different. That's why Trump went over there gangster style and took Greenland. It was easy for him to do it. What type of army we're a lot more stronger, even technologically advanced than the UK, than the European Union. Oh, please, man. Boy, I tell you, man, there's some damn morons coming up all of a sudden. Y'all see this stuff? Boy, I tell you, boy, that's when you know they ain't got nothing. You can't debate with me, right? You can't, you don't have it. You're just over here talking a bunch of nonsense. And you too afraid to get up on the mic. I already know that. He ain't gonna get up here. He ain't gonna get up here. He just talking. He ain't about that life for real, y'all. They're just over here just talking. The Democrats are the ones, right? That's why I'm getting many of the blacks away from the Democratic slave plantation. Any white liberal that got a problem with that, that means you got a problem with me. And guess what? I got a problem with you. I got a bone to pick with you. For what we had to deal with in this country coming from your racist party and the racist bullshit that went right along with it. It's too late now. The cat is already out the bag, sir. And once the toothpaste is out the tube, you can't put it back. More blacks are leaving now. And I want the brothers and the sisters that are black, share this with your other brethren, because we got a job to do, right? We're taking back this country from these old crazed out lunatic ass trans Tifa LGBT freak type people that hate Trump. Even people with the LGBTQ community, ones that voted for Trump, they even want to see America great again. Everybody on the left, like that ain't hating Trump. It's just the certain ones that pushing propaganda, man. Please, boy, I tell you, man, this is crazy. But you can't defeat me. That's the thing about it. You ain't defeated. All you just been doing is talking statements. You can't defeat us. You can't defeat us. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, you can't defeat us. That's the thing about it, man. Happy Mac and y'all. I'm going to deputize you guys. I know the ones because I have a way of looking at these comments once I go offline. You guys are going to be deputized, right? We got the sheriff here, man. And that's Sheriff Tony Love, man. You have come in my town, sir. You got until sundown to bounce up on out of here. You know what a sundown town is. Because when the sun go down, that's going to be your ASS, sir. That's exactly what it is. That we're going to start kicking you right on out the room. That's what it's going to be. You know, hear what I said? You know? You hear what I said, you know? You ain't got no authority, no leverage no more. You don't have the blacks. You don't have the Hispanic and the Latino community. You don't have any of them no more, right? You don't. They all have leaving your behind just like a rat's leaving a sinking ship. That's exactly what it is. So I'm going to go ahead on and get on out of here. I thank you guys for the likes. You guys have been rocking it out, man. We've been doing a great job pushing truth to falsehood. And what they have, what they try to sell, we ain't buying no more, man. We ain't buying because they can't show us an effective socialist or communist country that really have it good. Denmark don't count. We're talking about countries that have what we talked about before. We're talking about Russia, right? China, right? North Korea. There's some African nations in there too. The Etruscans, those Etruscans, that they got a real bad socialism program. Policy over there too. Communism type stuff too. These African countries, a lot of them. That's why you think with me, Africans want to come over here in America, you know? America is thank you for the like. America is the greatest country on earth that everybody wants to have. They want to come over here. They want to have their children and have a good way of life, man. And I can't sit up here and allow y'all to tell these lies and stuff like that. You go and tell that to your liberal masses and things that a new sheriff is in town, and that's Donald J. Trump. You know, we all been deputized, right? I care enough about this country to get involved politically, and we're going to take the midterms, and we're going to run every last one of these old rotten, scummy, lying, cheating ass, liberal ass progressives right out of power. And that's what we're going to do. And I look forward to the day to see Obama. Hold on for a minute. I got something for them for a minute. You know how I do, ladies and gentlemen. I love trolling the trolls. I'm going to troll the trolls tonight. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. Just give me one moment. I'm going to give them something that they just love, don't they? I know how I like to do. I'm going to give them something to love, though. You know, I love trolling the trolls, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't running nothing. They ain't running nothing. They done lost the narrative a long time ago. You know, when they shot at our beautiful, beloved Trump, and things, they lost at that point. They lost with Cameron, and they're going to lose the midterms, man. And y'all got that idiot, Ilhan Umar. She's in the process of being deported. We want her and Taliba Rashid to be deported right up on out of here, man. We don't rock with that disrespect and nonsense. And an old Al Werewolf Green, though. If I was down there, if I were that dude, I would have snatched that. I would have got that sign out of his hand. I would have pushed him and took that sign from him. That's what I would have did. You lucky I would have hit his behind upside the head with the sign, though. You know what I'm saying? We don't rock with that. See, I ain't one of those type of macker, right? You get violent with me, I'm going to get violent with you. That's exactly how it is. You try it, you know, and I'm good with those tools, if you know what I mean, though. It's my American Express. I never leave home without it. I never leave home without it, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, approach the wrong type of person and you will be a dead man, sir. That's all I got to say. Won't get up no more, you know. Got to bring flowers to the funeral, you know what I'm saying? So don't let it get it twisted now. You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful thing about America, right? America, ladies and gentlemen, America. Hold on for a minute. Let me get this one thing for you guys. Hold on for a minute. And I'm going to put it up here because I really want them. I really, because you know how I like to do, though, you know, before I go. Just give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. You know how I do. Where is he at? Hold on for a minute. Oh yeah, here it is. Look at that. Don't that look familiar? How that look? Look at that. That's what you're gonna see in the future. And this was a AI generated by yours truly, Donald Trump. That's what you're gonna see, because we are going for that Russia stuff. That's what you're gonna see. Look at that. Boy, I can't wait till they have his behind in chains, man. That big ear galoot. Look at that, boy. Get used to it, because I usually show it on my lives, though. Get used to that. Your fallen Messiah and the great arch deceiver, boy. Look at yours truly. Look at that, boy. It's going to happen. It's going to go down, though. Fast in it. Look at it. I want my detractors and my haters. That is going to happen one day soon enough. And when it does, he's going to say, yeah, he said it was going to happen. And I want you to come in this room, though. I'm going to put the same picture up, and we're going to be celebrating. This is the guy that committed treason against a sitting president of the United States. This guy right here. Mr. Big Ears. Old Barry Santoro, man. Ooh, look at Barry. Boy, look at that. I'm going to give you something really to hate now. Look at this. You know me. Look at this. Boy, don't that look good? I'm gonna get a picture frame and hang that on my wall when they get done with it. Yep. I'm gonna get a picture frame with that, boy. His hair gonna be white as snow by the time they catch him. Boy, aging, look at that. Gonna be like Diddy when he get finished with him. Look at that. Boy, I tell you. But other than that, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on one of the hottest upcoming channels on YouTube, steady rising. Without me, without you guys, it wouldn't be no me. I tell you that. It would not be no me if it wasn't for you guys and your support, man. You know, share this information with your other brothers, black, white, and other, though, man. We don't discriminate. We are all American. It ain't just a few or some. We are all Americans. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, you know. I mean, where's that big, beautiful flag at? Hold on for a minute. I got to put the flag up, too. Where that flag at, man? I got to put the American flag up. I'm proud to be an American. Yeah, I'm proud to be an American, man. You got to put, there it is. Get that flag there. Hold on for a minute. Put that flag up. Hold on for a minute. Let's put that in front. Get that flag. There we go. Put that flag on up there, too. There we go. There you go, Tony. Get that, Tony Love, get that flag up. Boy, look at that. That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Boy, I'm going to play the American anthem. We're going to go out with this picture up. Why not? So I appreciate you guys for being a part of something great. Thank you for being part of Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony Love. Look at that photo right there, boy. I tell you, man. Yep. So let me go. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the camera back on. Hold on for a minute. There y'all go. Y'all see me in all my glorious. Boy, I'm looking like $1 million, aren't I? But look at that, boy. I tell you. Yep. So, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of something great. Except Some Random Guy Speaks. Hopefully some of you learned something today about history and the Democrat Party. We're going to keep banging on them, man, all the way to the midterms, boy. More blacks are leaving the Democratic slave plantation than ever before, boy. We're going to have more Peel than Roland Applehead Martin, right? Al Snaketon, right? And all the rest of them, right? Go and run and tell them. You think I give it? You know what? Go run and tell that. Right? That a new sheriff is in charge and in control. Boy, look at that. I tell you, where's my American? Hold on. I'm going to get that back, though, ladies and gentlemen. I got to get that back up here. Hold on for a minute. Boy, proud to be. Hold on for a minute. Got to get that back up. Because, yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep. Hold on for a minute. I got to go back. That darn Ilhan Umar, boy, I tell you, man. What the? Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Hold on for a minute. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. All right, guys. And I'll see y'all on the next one. We're going to roll out on this. Peace.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red
appreciate it, guys. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, boy. I tell you, hold on for a minute. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I'm about to roll out. You guys showed up and showed out. We've been hitting them with facts once again, blowing it straight on out. And I got to get out here and go to work. That's a beautiful piece, boy. Star Spangled Banner, the greatest thing, the greatest flag, the greatest country in the world. Don't let nobody else tell you otherwise. I got to deputize some of you guys, man. So therefore, if you see, you'll see it. You'll know when you come in the room, though. You get a notification and things, though. You guys are going to be deputized, man. Yep, and I'm the sheriff, Tony Love, and I got a lot of love, though, you know. Don't let none of these old hypocrite black, white, and other try to keep you on that Democratic slave plantation. You've been liberated under our so-called, or actual, under the MAGA Republicans and our president that we all know and love, which is President Donald J. Trump. I appreciate you guys, and we're going to knock it out the park the next time again. Donald J. Trump, president. Boy, don't decide. He got a beautiful thing, though, right? It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful, boy. Thank you so much. All right, guys, and I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Peace and chicken grease. I'm out.